Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
So, I would like to perform Tahnik for my newborn. I have a C-section planned after Fajr, and I will be in ICU after delivery. All my family members will be fasting. Can we delay this sunnah till Maghrib or use the honey instead?
Yeah, Hasleen, did you not ask me this question yesterday on my website?
No, sir. Today morning I have asked you, sir, but I didn't get reply from you. It was very urgent for me to know.
Okay, I will answer you. Tahnik, for those who don't know, it's a prophetic sunnah. Whenever a newborn is new to this world, they used to bring him immediately to the Prophet ﷺ, so that the first thing that would enter the child's stomach, not the mother's milk, rather a piece of date, the Prophet ﷺ would chew and soften, and then he would take a very tiny bit and put it in the roof of the child's mouth, and immediately the child would do this and it would go into his system. Such amount, negligible, tiny, swallowable, would cause huge medical benefits for the child, but this is not our profession. We should not even care about it. It's a sunnah. And this has been done since that time of the Prophet ﷺ. The issue is, should it be done by anyone, like the parents, for example, or should we select righteous people? It's both acceptable. However, you don't find righteous people accessible all the time. Like 24 hours, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh, we'd like to do tahnik. And the Sheikh would just be sitting there chewing dates for the newborns, or a section in the hospital where a Sheikh sits there with lots of dates and chewing and giving. It's not feasible. So the parents can do it. Now, the issue is, all of her relatives will be fasting, and the surgery, the C-section, is to be done during the daytime. What can be done? Number one, you won't be fasting. So if you're awake and can do that, that's perfect. As a mom, you do the chewing and do the tahnik. If this is not applicable, any one of the fasting folks could do this chewing, because it's a minute piece that he would do it and soften it and do the tahnik and then spit it and rinse his mouth, and no harm done, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. I wasn't there, so I cannot give you the details of what had happened between them. What I can give you are the following. One, the Prophet ﷺ told us that Ali is one of the 10 heaven bound. So he is one of the top 4 in Islam men, without a doubt. Two, the Prophet told us ﷺ that there will come a time where 2 great factions of the Ummah would fight, and the wrong party would lead Ammar ibn Yasir to be killed. And Ammar ibn Yasir was with the army of Ali ibn Abi Talib. So we know that the other side was wrong. 3, we know for certain that Muawiya ibn Abi Sufyan, may Allah be pleased with him, and with his father, was the brother-in-law of the Prophet ﷺ, meaning that the Prophet was married to his sister, Habiba, the mother of the believers, and that he was one of the scribes of the Wahy. So whenever the Prophet received revelation of the Quran, Muawiyah was ordered to come and write these verses, which is an honor that is not given to any Tom, Dick, or Harry. Fourthly, we believe that the companions are in Jannah, and that they are among those whom Allah had His pleasure be upon them. Allah is pleased with them and they're pleased with Allah Azza wa Jal. So it would be illogical for us to go and try to sort out what had happened and talk ill about one part or party and talk good about the other. They had a dispute, and whatever were the reasons there were among their armies people who did not want peace, and who initiated and ignited the fire of war, which caused to what we know. Does this mean that they are this or that? No. They are companions of the Prophet. We must love them and respect them, and we believe that they did what they had done out of good intention, and Allah Azza wa Jal is the judge. You need not go a further step after all of that, because anything else would lead you to speaking ill about one of the companions. And the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, told us, leave my companions, leave them aside, let them be. Because if one of you were to give the equivalent of Mount Uhud in gold, in the cause of Allah, this would not come close to the mud of one of them, nor a half of it. So if you spend the weight of Mount Uhud in gold, this would not come close to what one of them spends in the palms of his hand, or even in one palm of his hand.